MMA Complete,
Damn.
episode 60.
Who made that?
Right? That's some hood shit right
Who
there.
made that? Hang on. That's pretty good.
I think Hoedown's on there too.
It is on there.
Yes.
Play that.
MMA Complete, episode 60. September, jeez. August 19th.
That's made by you. You
It
just
is,
say
that
it.
is made by me.
Yeah.
Yes. Album dropping in 2021 at some point.
Yeah.
Episode number 60. GOAT. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We are 2 weeks out from Cyril Gane and Derek Lewis, UFC 265. We are, 4 weeks away? 4.5 weeks away from UFC 266, which is headlined by... What up, Burrow?
Oh, we streaming already?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, I got my decks here. I'm gonna take a spot back and finish this up.
Yeah, you good, bro. Whatever you got to do. So what? We're 4 weeks away from 266.
Yep. Which is.
266 is drawing a fucking blank from me right now.
That's why I
got
asked
it.
you.
I got it right here.
Exactly. I like the dressing up for the pod a little bit.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I dressed up this morning. I just haven't taken it off. UFC
Went to the
266 is Volkanovski Ortega.
Okay.
Volkanovski Ortega, Shevchenko Murphy, Diaz Lawler, Blades Rosenstrike, Andrade Calvillo, Maurice Walsh Willie, and Rockhold Strickland. So UFC 266 is about to be a banging fucking pay-per-view.
Rockland's fighting Strickland.
Yeah, Rockhold.
Rockhold, sorry.
Yeah.
Dude, Strickland's got balls. He's got balls. That's a tough
Dude,
fight for anybody.
he's talking a shit ton of shit too. That's September 25th is UFC 266. This weekend we got Jared Cannonier, Kelvin Gastelum. That's gonna be a good one.
That's a good fight. That's a good fight.
I don't know who I got for that.
I don't either, honestly, but fuck no, I really have no idea. My heart says Cannonier. It does.
I think
Gastelum's getting his first good training camp in over a year now.
Cannonier
That's
has
the
some
difference.
heart, man.
Yeah,
it's just
true.
like he went 3 rounds. He had a broken arm. Number one, he hurt his arm on a kick that he blocked.
Mhm.
I remember that. I mean, it's against Robert Whittaker, the only guy that has a decent chance to probably
From
beat.
Izzy.
Yeah, Adesanya.
Right.
Yeah, I got Cannonier, dude. I think. I mean, props to Kevin Gastelum for retweeting us and stuff. But
I got Kevin Gastelum, and I think it's just a power factor. Like Bobby Lawler. Holy crap, Bobby Knuckles is a little bit more like a technical striker. You know, he's got power, but he doesn't fucking throw his bombs
Right.
like Gastelum. So that's where I think he has a strong point.
Yeah, I do too. I think Cannonier has some explosive power though, man. Like Robert Whittaker did really good with his head movement when he fought Cannonier in April, May, something like that, whenever it was. And Cannonier is back, but Kelvin Gastelum is not only a tough motherfucker, but he's becoming a UFC favorite. Like, just people want to root for him. And I think that's where we're getting kind of mixed up. I think Jared Cannonier is... I'm fairly certain in the rankings right now, Cannonier's 3 and Gastelum's like 8. Like, on paper, this shouldn't be as close of a fight, but knowing that Kelvin Gastelum's last 2 fights against Robert Whittaker and Vittori? Was it Vittori?
Yeah, I think so. I think Vittori beat him. I don't know. I gotta Google that.
Kelvin Gastelum fought someone.
Wasn't Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa pulled out, so he had to fight. Last time he had to fight.
Oh, no, it's just Robert Whittaker that he went short notice. He went short notice against Jack Hermanson and Ian Heinisch, but he beat Ian Heinisch in February.
Did he beat Hermanson or not?
No, Hermanson tapped him.
now Ian Heinisch, he didn't finish Ian Heinisch, which is kind of surprising to me because he's known as a guy with a lot of power, I feel. And Ian Heinisch, not really a top guy.
Right, he was borderline
You know what I mean?
15
Like,
right when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Kelvin Gastelum's 9, Cannonier's 3 right now in middleweight rankings.
Damn. I think Kevin Gastelum still has a very big chance.
No, I definitely do too. Cannonier has just shown so much potential since he moved down to middleweight because he started his UFC career at heavyweight.
Yeah.
And then he went to light heavyweight and he went to middleweight.
He's definitely done something impressive in his career.
Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
never seen that happen before. Somebody dropping from heavyweight to middleweight.
The only thing I've seen that compares to that is who's the guy that went from Anthony Johnson has done a similar career path. But he was the opposite. He started in welterweight and then he went to light heavyweight. So he was just bulking up. Whereas Cannonier is just slimming down, which I guess in the long run is better. Interesting note, I don't want to spend too much time because we have a bunch to talk about, but I don't have a set schedule at all, agenda for what we want to talk about today. So I could just kind of get into this.
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Joe Rogan had a podcast the other week where he talked about how he believes that one of the biggest he didn't say cheating, and I would agree, I don't think it's cheating, but one of the biggest advantages you can get is these crazy weight cuts.
Yeah, it is kind of cheating.
And one of the biggest examples of it is Khabib. Because Khabib walked around at 190 and he cut to 155. So when he got back in the octagon, he's 180 fighting a 165er. You know what I mean?
That is what I'm saying.
That's fucking crazy.
Right.
Been the argument the whole time.
It totally makes sense. And that's why IVs were first taken out, because they don't want people doing that. But there's still people that do it, of course. Paulo Costa is a prime fucking example.
I was just going to say
Marvin Vettori is too. Marvin Vettori doesn't look bulked, but when he fought Izzy at 185, he came into the ring at 2+.
Dude, I thought you were going to say Paulo Costa at first, but when you said Khabib, I was like, okay.
Yeah,
I got my
Khabib's the
attention
same
a little
way.
bit. Yeah.
But Paulo Costa is going to be fighting who's Costa fighting soon? Vittori. He's going to be fighting Vittori in, I think, October.
That's an interesting
Yeah,
fight.
that is an interesting fight. I got Paulo Costa.
I think so too. If he can fight off the wrestling of Vittori.
And
October
Adesanya-
23rd is Paulo Costa.
Adesanya's pick is Paulo Costa in that fight too.
Yeah.
You should check both of you. It's a fire beat. But Adesanya has a very interesting YouTube page. He commentates through the fights and stuff and says things.
Oh, I'm sure he does. I'm sure Adesanya is a huge film buff.
Dude, you should check it out. It's freaking dope. It's dope.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of cool that he does that.
While you're checking out
nobody
Izzy's
does that.
YouTube page, go check out MMA Complete Podcast on YouTube. Go follow us at complete_MMA, which is down in the little banner at the bottom of the screen right now. Twitter's been popping off for the last 2 months, and we're just growing and growing. So everybody that has been showing us love, we appreciate it, and keep going because we're having a blast doing it.
Yeah.
Go check out Naked Sports too. A bunch of articles have been released lately.
That's McDonald's, huh? What'd you get? Oh, McChicken.
McChickens?
Hey, sponsor us, McDonald's.
Yeah, McDonald's sponsor would be lit.
Coca-Cola.
It would probably be better if we got like a nutritious snack, but at the same time, fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this weekend, there's not too many like big fights. It's mostly just a 1-fight card. There's a couple undercards. We got Clay Guida fighting Mark Madsen as the co-main event. That's interesting. I'm not too worried about it. Chase Sherman is fighting Parker Porter at heavyweight, and I know Chase Sherman is in the mix of the top 15, so that could be an interesting fight. But besides that, there isn't a whole lot. Austin Hubbard is fighting Vince Peichel.
So
Alexander Pantoja versus Brandon Royval is actually a pretty important fight. Pantoja and Royval are respectively, I believe, both in the top 5. Royval's 6, Pantoja's 3 of the flyweight division. So that's actually a fight to look out for to see who
we're
wins.
doing a Austin parlay
Mm-hmm.
because there's 2 Austins fighting. In this
I thought you said there was 3, no?
No, 2.
There's 2. Yeah.
That's good.
I thought there was 3.
That's a little mojo right there. For
Yeah, mine is. Oh yeah, I'll tell you later.
And I'll tell you this, we haven't talked about this fight too much, which I kind of like because we can talk about it for a good amount today.
Okay.
I think it's a really interesting matchup. Next week, fight night, I can't keep track of what the fight night numbering is, but Edson Barboza versus Giga Chikadze.
I got Chikadze.
Edson Barboza, baby, he looked so good his last fight.
He did.
Edson Barboza looked good. I mean, Shane Burgos gave it to him until he got knocked out, but Edson Barboza has been showing clips of him working out, and his physique is absolutely on point. He's in amazing shape.
Yeah.
I'm sure Chikadze is too.
Yeah.
Chikadze is just up and coming, man. His last fight was astonishing. He knocked out. He TKO'd Cub Swanson by a liver kick.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That's bananas, man. Featherweight division. And Chikadze is one of the best stand-up strikers in that division from his legs, because this guy's a Muay Thai and kickboxer.
So we're gonna have a fight
Right,
Or
and that's
type of
Edson
fight.
Barboza's bread and butter, bro. You're talking
Yeah.
about the best spinning kicker in the UFC's history, and Edson Barboza.
Whatever his name is, Chikadze. He has knockout power too, dude. He's known for his liver kicks because he has what 2 or 3 finishes.
I don't even know if he has 2 or 3. I just know that he's known for his last fight because it was it was a pretty big.
He
deal.
does have.
And
He
against
does have.
Swanson too.
He does have a couple. Yeah, he did it to Cub Swanson.
Exactly.
I
That's
got Chikadze, dude. I think he's faster than Barboza. I really do.
All right, so Chikadze's 10, Barboza's 9.
Yeah.
Barboza's
kind of running on a high from his last fight, honestly.
He is. And Giga Chikadze, let's check out their records real
He's
quick.
really not up and coming, dude. He's pretty good.
Well, he is still up and coming because he hasn't had that many fights. That's the thing. Like, he's relatively new. I don't know if he's too young. I think he's 32. He's 13-2. And he is 6-0 in the UFC.
Yeah, so he's like, I'm pretty sure.
But he hasn't fought any big names in the UFC. Cub Swanson was his biggest name, and he knocked him out. Not only did he liver kick him for a TKO, but it was 1 minute and 3 seconds in the first round.
Really?
Yeah, he's
Yes.
got power, dude.
That was quick.
He has won his last 2 fights by TKO in the first round.
I think he knows how to defend the kicks.
But Edson Barboza is by far the best fighter he's ever fought. You know what I mean? Like, by far.
Yeah.
Cub Swanson is the best fighter he's ever fought, and then he goes against Edson Barboza, who Edson Barboza is not in his prime still, but he's not far the fuck out of it. He's like 35.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Edson Barboza is on a 2-fight win streak. He beat Maikwan Amirkhani and Shane Burgos. The Shane Burgos fight, I don't want to say was lucky, but at the same time, I feel like if it went to decision, which it almost did, I think Burgos might have won it.
It was close.
It was definitely close. But Burgos is a motherfucker. You know, not taking anything away from him. But he lost to Justin Gaethje, Paul Felder, and Dan Ige.
That's a good loss record.
And Kevin Lee and Khabib. And Tony Ferguson.
That's a lot of.
That's a pretty fucking good loss record. But
Different weight classes, though, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He's gone down to featherweight.
Yeah.
I believe is this right? Edson Barboza is 2-0 in featherweight, I believe, because Dan Ige and Paul Felder are both lightweights, which was his last 2 losses before his current 2-fight win streak. Is Dan Ige a lightweight or is he a featherweight? He is a featherweight. Okay, so he's 2-1, and he lost to Dan Ige, but now he's fighting Giga Chikadze. That's going to be an interesting fight. Like, I'm really looking forward to seeing that fight because it's going to be stand up the whole time. I really think, unless Edson Barboza, because if Barboza has some ground game background, and Giga Chikadze, I'm sure he's grounded in it, but he doesn't. So if Barboza decided to be a dick and brought it to the ground, I think Barboza could absolutely floor him on the ground.
How interesting would that be? Fucking does it turn out?
That would be crazy. That would be nuts. Because Barboza, I don't think has gone to the ground in like the last 5 fights or something. But when you're fighting a guy with such stand-up prowess, I don't know his exact background. I do know he is Brazilian. That is what makes me
Look him up real quick. Does he have? Is he a black belt? Yeah, if he's a black belt, then I might side with Barboza. I might take him down.
Right, but I don't think even if he does have a jiu-jitsu background, which I'm pretty sure he does, I don't think this fight goes to the ground. I
don't think it does. It's a Muay Thai kickboxing
pride
fight.
thing.
You know?
Yeah.
Barboza is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu brown belt, and he's trained under Ricardo Almeida and Renzo Gracie.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Bro. He might go to the ground.
who knows?
I don't know.
Let's see what we got for Chikadze's. Like, Chikadze is the kind of guy that will like knock your head off with a kick. He's like a featherweight Mirko Cro Cop, and I don't mean that in any disrespect to Cro Cop because he's obviously a legend. But that's what Cro Cop was known for, was his fucking vicious leg kicks, and that's what we're seeing at Chikadze. It's too early to tell.
Even.
It is absolutely even, and I wouldn't be surprised at that at all. I think that makes sense. This doesn't say anything about his kickboxing record. He actually has a 38-6 kickboxing record.
Giga Chikadze?
Yes.
Maybe
Which is impressive, but it's not as impressive as like an Adesanya or something like that.
Maybe it translates over to MMA a little different, you know. Like, there's a lot more room to throw things and stuff.
I will tell you this though, since he's came to the UFC, Chikadze's had he's had little to 0 points of weakness. Like, no one's really even tested him. We can go back to his record real quick. Giga Chikadze is 6-0 in the UFC, 2 TKOs in the first round. The rest are decisions.
Yeah.
He has only been outstruck one time in his career. And it was he lost. So he fought a guy, Jamal Emmers, in his third fight, March of 2020. Split decision victory over Emmers. But he was outstruck 54-38, and he was taken down twice to 0 takedowns of himself, and he still won. It's interesting. I would definitely want to go back and check out that fight, but it was over a year ago, and he has since just put the work on people and has been close in any of his fights. I am going to say Giga Chikadze. I'm going to pick Giga.
I got Chikadze. I'm not going to change it. You got Barbosa?
I'm sticking with Barbosa.
I do think that it will be a decision. It's going to be a 5-round fight. I think that it goes the full distance.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that going the distance.
There's absolutely potential for either men to knock the other out.
Mhm.
But I think that it goes the distance because these guys are both very well they have great cardio. Edson Barboza is obviously much more experienced, and he's been in high-level championship fights before. So he's been – I don't know if he's been through 5 rounds, but he's definitely been in 5-round fights.
Yeah, he's definitely been main event.
Let me see.
Yeah, Barbosa's
He
won
has-
unanimous decisions for.
He's never gone through 5 rounds, but he has been in championship fights, 5-round fights. Edson Barboza's 22-9. I didn't realize that.
That lightweight division really fucked him up.
Yeah, but he was back in it before lightweight really took off. Lightweight's always been a very competitive division, but he was in it back in the day of Pettis and Melendez and Henderson and Edgar in his prime.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Yeah, Frankie Edgar's been going on it forever.
But hey, man, if you're 2-0 in featherweight, like, we could be seeing another Jose Aldo. I don't know if he is going to be, but he could be. You know,
Jose
we see
Aldo looked good.
We see these older technician championship caliber fighters that just find the way. They get the right trainer, they get the right staff, and they're able to cut the weight. And bringing back to what we said earlier about how much of an advantage these huge weight cuts are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not only are you now fighting someone who is technically 10 pounds smaller than you, but you're also probably going to be taller. You're going to have a little bit of a reach advantage. And when you get into the octagon, you're going to have at least an extra 5 pounds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it so many different aspects.
Like, everybody's cutting weight, but the thing about cutting weight is it affects everybody differently.
Yeah.
Like, some people that have been doing it their whole lives, they can cut weight fucking 20 pounds and that's hell, but they'll bounce back from it.
Right.
But others, they're affected differently. Like, some people cut 3 pounds and they'll be fucked.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
It's kind of crazy how much a fighter can cut weight. Like Khabib walking around at 190 is kind of crazy to think about, you know. And when he goes in the fight, you know, like he's 15 pounds heavier than his opponent.
Right.
He,
10 pounds
That's
heavier.
what we saw with
And he's
Jan
a
Blachowicz,
wrestler.
Israel Adesanya. That was the best, I think, viewpoint of what we're talking about.
it
we
affects
saw-
it at these high levels.
We saw 2 guys who have virtually the same style. Adesanya's more kick-based, but he is a straight-up stand-up specialist, and so is Jan. But Jan has some wrestling background. He
Mhm.
doesn't use it all the time, but he used it against Adesanya because they weighed in. Just the weigh-in difference was 13 pounds. We don't know what the difference was when it got
had to
into
be at
the
least
octagon.
30.
Jan is at least
Maybe
220.
40, dude.
Jan's at least 220, and Izzy's probably not even 200.
That's crazy.
So it was a 20-pound difference. So if you get taken down by a guy 20 pounds heavier than you that has a jiu-jitsu black belt that knows what the fuck they're doing and knows how to press their weight into
Yeah. Sambo
places.
world champion. Fucking.
Well,
Khabib-
no, I'm talking Blachowicz.
Yeah. I'm bringing it back over to Khabib like that. That definitely plays a level of effect on this, and you know we can see that with the fitness of fighters.
I see Izzy said the other day that he says a John Jones fight still is possible. I don't
He
really
did.
know, but
I don't
He
think
was. Yeah, he's
interesting.
trying to
It's
draw
an
him out.
interesting topic.
Ariel Helwani put on his podcast that he kind of blasted Dana White. He didn't exactly name him, but he was like, the UFC is wasting so much money by not having that fight booked already. I understand. I'm not quoting him specifically, but I'm paraphrasing. He said, I understand the difficulties in having to pay major stars money that we might not seem that they're worth. But at the end of the day, if you have a spectacle that draws fans to the sport, that not only will give you gate money for that pay-per-view, but will bring in fans for other pay-per-views and especially those two fighters' next pay-per-views.
Dude.
If
Yeah.
if Ngannou and Jones lock up, no matter what, the winner of that fight's next fight is also going to be a huge fucking fight. You know, so you're not only just making one card, you're making a lot of money. And if Francis does beat John Jones, listen, people are going to watch John Jones fight, whether he's 29-0 or 29-5. They're going to watch John Jones fight.
That's
and if
true.
Francis beats John Jones, to the fucking moon, man. That guy is the next Conor.
Man.
I swear to God, he is. He's not going to talk shit, but he will be known on a house-to-house basis if the UFC does it right.
UFC will be in Africa when this COVID bullshit clears up in several years, like within the next
Can you
several
imagine if we have a pay-per-view in Africa and you see Ngannou, Adesanya, and Usman on the same card fighting for their fucking continent? Can you imagine that shit? Oh my God.
Would you go to see that?
One has a New Zealand accent, one has an American accent, and then the other's actually from Africa.
Right. Right.
Would you go and see that?
Dude, if I could afford the plane fare to fucking Africa.
Right. Let's get media passes and go to that. That's what I'm down for. But yeah, man, that would be crazy.
Yeah, but one thing I kind of wanted to bring up too with the advertising with John Jones fight, you get to say the greatest of all time. Like
Absolutely.
when you're an
100%.
when you're the advertiser, you can avoid the little things like, did he do steroids? Did he do this? Did he do, or is it Khabib, or is it GSP, or is it who is it? You can avoid things like that by just saying, fuck it, the other two aren't coming back.
Here's how I would book the fight, and I haven't had any time to think of it. It's just coming to my head, but this is how I book it. The baddest man on the planet versus the baddest man ever.
Yeah, that's a good line. All right,
like you're talking about the greatest of all time and the greatest currently.
Heavyweight, yeah.
Right. You right now, currently, I'd say greatest currently pound for pound is Usman. But if we want to talk about like who are you going to fight?
Yeah, probably.
Who is the last person in the world
Maybe
that you would
Stipe.
pick to fight?
Maybe Stipe.
The last person.
Stipe just lost to Ngannou.
Yeah, I know, but like significant. I don't know.
Usman's just been. Usman, honestly, if Usman can stay at this pace for another few years, he'll scratch GSP in my view.
Who's gonna beat him, man?
Usman?
Who's gonna fucking beat Usman?
I think the only thing that beats Usman is time.
I think the only thing that beats
Kobe.
Usman, ready for this? I think the only thing that beats Usman is a fucking wild right hook from Gilbert Burns. That just actually rocks him.
Who knows how they are on the ground though? Like he did it in the first fight.
Dude, we haven't seen Usman go to the ground in 6 fights.
Who knows, dude? He's a world champ at the shit.
I know he is.
He's
And that's
been
why no
doing
one
it.
wants to take him down. That's why it's so crazy. We were talking about this last week. Usman was at the point where no one wanted to challenge his wrestling. Nobody. Fucking no one. Gilbert Burns is he's like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt from Brazil his whole life. 34 years old. He's been training Jiu-Jitsu for 30 years.
Still is
World
didn't take him down.
Still takes fights in jiu-jitsu.
And so Usman was like, all right, if no one wants to take me down, I'm just going to go train with the best boxing coach in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the right move on his part.
It's absolutely the right move. And not only that, but Gilbert Burns was his training partner. Gilbert Burns was like one of his best friends and one of his best proteges. And he just gave him respect. He was like, listen, man, I get it. You're trying to be champ too. And I'm not going to do this and that to stop it. So I'll leave. You do what you got to do and we'll try. Usman has never said no to a challenge.
He's procrastinated, but he's never said no.
Has he? He's kind of procrastinated, but at the same time, if you look at his record, like let's check out how often it is he fights. Because I believe he's fought this Colby fight. I believe is like the 6th fight in the last 2 years. 3 fights a year for a champ.
That's average. That's actually
it's
above
better
average.
than average. 3 fights is what used to be the
what
UFC.
it is the media. The way the media portrays him is always kind of like dodging topics when it comes to who's fighting next.
Right.
And I think that gives off the view that he doesn't fight as often.
The welterweight ranking is totally top heavy
15
too.
wins in a row, dude.
Welterweight rankings is totally top heavy.
15 wins.
It's going to start being the Amanda Nunes where you're going to have to start fighting the number 5 guy because you've already beaten 1 through 4 twice.
I'm interested in seeing that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Vicente Luque made headlines when he beat Michael Chiesa.
He destroyed him, dude. That was fucking insane.
He didn't destroy him.
He
didn't destroy him. He got him.
He got a lucky.
It was. I wouldn't call it lucky, but he definitely was able to maneuver off his back beautifully and caught him in a spot that it shows his jiu-jitsu prowess.
Mhm.
But at the same time, Michael Chiesa won the first 3 minutes of the fight, and then Luque got him picture perfectly in a Darce choke, and that was it. So
It was a fucking brutal.
Luque's
submission.
tough.
It was a brutal
Luque is
submission.
resilient, and he is smart on how he's conserving his energy and puts it into the right spot at the right time.
Mhm.
But I got to tell you, it's not the most impressive victory I've ever seen. I think people kind of blew it out of the way, and I get that Luque's won a couple fights in a row.
He did get rocked by Tyron Woodley too.
He
So
did. Absolutely.
if Tyron Woodley's power can rock him, I definitely.
But
think
then he
Kamaru
tapped
Usman.
Woodley.
Yeah, with the fucking.
Was it guillotine?
No, it was a.
Was it a
guillotine-
Darce?
It was a
It was
guillotine.
a Darce.
No,
It was
it
a-
was. It was a guillotine counter. It was a Von Flute, I think.
No, he said it was. No, he even him.
I think it
in,
might have been a Darce.
Post fight press conference, he said it was a Darce.
It was a Darce. He's won his last 2 fights by Darce.
Holy shit!
It says he's known
So
for it.
Vicente Luque is on a 4-fight win streak against
Who knows?
Nico
That's what
Price,
they're
Randy
all-
Brown,
that's what they're
Tyron
all
Woodley,
gonna say.
and Michael Chiesa, and they're all finishes. For the record, Vicente. Wow. Okay, hold on. Vicente Luque has won 10 of his last 11. His only 2 losses in the UFC are to Leon Edwards and Stephen Thompson.
That we need to see Leon Edwards fight again.
Yeah,
We do
that's
need
gonna
to
be
see Leon
scheduled
Edwards.
soon.
Who's Leon Edwards fighting? What do you think? Let's check the rankings
Jorge
real quick.
Masvidal.
Yeah,
I think that's the
That's the
perfect one
time
to
to
make,
make
but we never see the perfect one to make. I would like to see Leon Edwards, Stephen Thompson.
Jorge's been talking.
It's a good
They've been
stand-up
close.
fight.
I would like to see Wonder Boy and Leon Edwards. I think that's a really good
Jorge
fight.
just said,
He wants to
quoting.
fight someone who will get him closer to the belt.
yeah, and Leon Edwards is that guy.
I don't listen. If you're Leon Edwards, right, and you are number 3 ranked, and you've been able to not really fucking,
fight at
Fight
all.
anyone?
he hasn't had to fight anybody that strong. Would you go ahead and fight Jorge Masvidal? I don't know.
If he can get to the belt by fighting Masvidal, that's his best route.
And think about where he is in the division. Pretty soon, there's going to be no one left to fight Usman, and they're going to throw in Edwards because they need a fresh face anyway.
Yeah,
So if you can fight a guy and just keep the 3rd ranking, even if the worst case scenario,
Not
is
even
he
fight anyone. Just
worst
wait.
case scenario, he fights a guy that's like 10th ranked, and he gets pushed down to 4. He beats him by unanimous decision or something.
Yeah.
Gets pushed down to 4. He's still going to get a title shot in a year because Usman's going to beat everybody else.
yeah, he'll be there. Usman will be there.
I like
You know what I
Kamaru
mean?
Usman's rookie card value.
I know.
They
You've
have
been
cards
saying
for
that forever.
UFC?
Yeah.
What the hell?
All right, now we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Check out MMA Complete Podcast on YouTube. Go follow us on Twitter at complete_MMA, and go check out nakedsports.com for recent articles, UFC, and all other sports. We will be right back after a quick word from our commercial. No sponsors, just commercials.
Rest
We
in
do
peace.
it. We got to keep it. Is my commercial not even on here anymore? This pisses me off. Is it on here? No, it's not.
I couldn't find it the other day at the thing.
All right, well, go check out Cucina de Catharina tomato sauce.
Go buy the Cucina de Catharina pasta sauce. It's better than your mama's gravy. I'm just telling you that right now. Go ahead and fight me on it. 5.0. You're not going to get a better sauce out of the jar from a store than Cucina de Catharina.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
All
I'm
right,
gonna get
boom, we're live.
bro.
I don't know.
I
You
weighed
just
myself the other day.
165.
I am.
So this fight, I don't know if this is totally scheduled yet. I don't think it is, but Google has it scheduled, so I'm gonna check this out before I even say it.
Yeah. Do it. Do it up, son,
All right, so apparently,
buddy.
Derek Brunson and Darren Till are still on to headline their fight September 4th.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Look, Darren
I
Till's
am-
been out by injury so much.
I am looking forward to that a lot. I'm really looking forward to that.
He gets injured again. Knock on wood.
Also, making his debut on that card September 4th is Paddy Pimblett against
Ooh, yeah.
Luigi Vendramini.
I'm not a fan of. I'm just not a fan of his fan base. But I'd like to see him in the UFC.
I know relatively nothing about him.
He's.
I know he was a champion in another organization.
He's got some good wins over. I don't know any fucking big names, but what I saw, he was UFC caliber.
Well, do you guys know what division, what organization he was in? Because I know the name, and he's the biggest crossover star since Michael Chandler.
Yeah, I always see him in Instagram videos and stuff. Like people put compilations together of him.
Paddy the Batty Pimblett. That's
September
a name.
4th.
Darren Till's younger
Right.
cousin.
Yeah, September 4th.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think he's gonna win.
So he's
hammer
only
him.
on a 2-fight win streak.
That'd be good to do.
He's only on a 2-fight win streak. He is 3-3 in his last 6 fights. But before that, he went on an 8-fight win streak, 9-fight win streak before that.
What organization?
And Pride is gone. Cage
Rest in
Warriors.
peace, Pride.
Cage Warriors.
Oh,
Cage
Cage
Warriors.
Warriors. I bet.
And he is a lightweight. So there's another fighter added to the lightweight. This is confusing to me because I'm on Tapology right now, and it's giving me like
Ball stink.
a 16-4 record. But when you go on Google by way of UFC, it says he's 16-3. So I don't know how that's possible. I don't know if UFC is just trying to market him by not even acknowledging a loss he had.
It's possible if it's at the bottom of the list.
Well, he got choked out by Cameron Else. He got a unanimous decision loss against Nad Naramani. He had a decision loss against Soren Bach, and he tapped against Stevie Ray.
But he does have a
Stevie
fan
Ray
base.
Vaughn. Oh,
That-
no, I know
that
he
was a
has
good
fan
one.
base.
That was a good one.
You like that? I was hoping someone would get that.
That's
No, that's Stevie. So yeah, September 4th has a good little fight night coming up. That's one to watch out for.
We'll be betting on that one.
September 18th is Anthony Smith versus Ryan Spann. That's interesting. I'm not crazy over it, but that's a good little light heavyweight bout for the top 10.
I like
Who
to
the
see
fuck is
Anthony
that?
Smith fighting again. You know, it feels like he was
Anthony-
there when I was a kid,
So who
and
did
now
he?
he's back, and he's still a young dude.
Who did he just lose to?
He's 33.
Was
He
it
won.
It wasn't Prochazka. Oh, he beat Devin Clark. Alexander Rakic. That's who.
Oh,
lost?
bro, I bet on this dude.
That was a very boring fight. Oh, so he's on a 2-fight win streak. He beat Devin Clark and Jimmy Crute. He beat Jimmy
was
Crute. That's the fight
spectacular.
that we thought.
Leg kick,
Oh my
Um,
god, the leg.
the limp leg.
So Anthony Smith is 6 right now in the light heavyweight division. Ryan Spann 11. I get Anthony Smith wants, if he can get a 3rd fight of a top 15 caliber fighter, that's great. But he should be fighting someone higher. I would like him to fight like an Ozdemir.
We'll see it soon, I think.
Hopefully.
That'll be a test for him.
Let's take a quick gander to see if this fight is still on. Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker is still the main event of October 2nd. That fight I am super fucking interested in.
Thiago Santos needs to have a comeback win and be
Both
wants
of them
any
do.
chance. Yeah,
Both of them. They were huge names. Johnny Walker never got to the title fight. Thiago Santos obviously
he was a
did.
big dude, Johnny
But
Walker. back in
Thiago
the day, though.
Santos had some bad luck after he fought John Jones.
Didn't Johnny Walker? Who did Johnny Walker fight that we know?
He lost to Corey Anderson.
Okay.
So Thiago Santos lost to Alexander Rakic and Glover Teixeira in his last 2 fights. And John Jones before that, obviously. Before that, he knocked out Jan Blachowicz, knocked out Jimmy Manoa, knocked out Eric Anders, and beat Kevin Holland by decision. So Thiago Santos was on a fucking tear. And then he just ran into 2 really, really good fucking athletes. Glover Teixeira obviously just wrestled the shit out of him. And then Rakic is up there. Alexander Rakic is a name to look out for in light heavyweight. He hasn't fought in a little bit, but
I agree.
the fights that he has fought, like his last couple fights, he's beat Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos. Ozdemir beat him. He beat Jimmy Manoa. He beat Devin Clark.
When's Kamaya fighting?
Khamzat Chimaev is fighting Li Jingliang, UFC 267, I believe. Yep, right there.
Main card.
It has to be main card.
Yeah.
Chimaev is going to be on main card. I would assume so.
First fight of main card.
UFC, dude, these next 2 pay-per-views, next 3 pay-per-views are going to be off the fucking charts. I'm just going to read you the top 3 fights of each pay-per-view. 266, we have Volkanovski Ortega featherweight strap. Shevchenko Murphy for the women's featherweight strap.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler. I didn't even mention Curtis Blades and Jared Jr. Rosenstrike. Or the 3 other huge fights. UFC 267, we have Jan Blachowicz versus Glover Teixeira in the fight that I've been very excited for the fact that I believe that Glover Teixeira is going to win.
Dude, and it would be the fucking one of the greatest stories, you know.
Would be.
Just an
I'm an old
weathered
man.
fighter, yeah.
I'm an old man. Why not give me the belt shot? Why not? Like, that's such a good story. Aljo versus Piotr Jan on UFC 267 with Blachowicz and Teixeira. Islam Makhachev versus Rafael Dos Anjos.
Yeah. It's a good test.
Kamzat Chimaev versus Li Jingliang. Walt Harris, Tai Tuivasa, Alexander Volkov, Marcin Tybura.
Dude, that is a card. Holy
Stacked.
shit. Yeah.
And then 268 is Usman Colby and Gaethje Chandler, and that's all we know of as of right now.
And that's already
We are
stacked.
in for a huge fall for UFC.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
They're making all their moves right.
For real. We got Cody Garbrandt coming back in December to fight Kai Kara France. We got Paulo Costa Vittori in October. We got Thiago Santos, Johnny Walker in October.
Yeah.
Big fights. Huge. Fucking huge.
It's going to be huge.
It's gonna be huge. I'm looking forward to it. I think this is gonna be a great little fall for it, and it's just in time for us to kick back and like actually have time to watch them and do shit. So it's gonna be great. I just realized I forgot that we had talked last week about making rankings. Remember
Yeah,
we said we were
I
gonna do that? I
completely
totally forgot. So we're gonna do that next week.
Okay.
Next week. Ready for this?
Listen.
If you can make it next week, if you can't, all good. If
Be
you
there.
can make it,
I'll be on vacation.
you're gonna be on vacation?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
No, just 2 weeks off from school.
Oh, word, okay.
Hey, thank
We want to make our own divisional rankings
What, like pound for pound or like just divisional?
by division.
So like Dana
light
White's,
heavyweight, middleweight,
or-
welterweight, lightweight, featherweight, bantamweight, flyweight, and we can do. I'd be down to do women's divisions too if you guys want.
Sure.
But we only want to do top 10 because
Yeah.
top 15 will get tricky. We don't know if we want to put people in
Maybe
that
we'll-
aren't in.
Maybe we'll do like 3 divisions a week or something.
Yeah, we could do that.
Stretch it out a little bit. So we can talk about that for a while too, with just 3 divisions.
100%.
So,
Yeah, I'm down to do that. That'd be fun.
All right, so let's talk about. We talked about the matchups. Cannonier Gastelum. We've talked about a little bit about it. Who you got?
I got Kelvin Gastelum.
I can't hear.
I got Cannonier.
It's very good.
It's
very
such a tight fight though
very
because I think Gastelum's gonna look better than he has in his last couple
Yeah.
fights. But Cannonier is a motherfucker, man. He's a motherfucker.
I'm just hoping Robert Whitaker, after beating him like that, didn't break his spirits because that guy was looking good against Robert Whitaker.
Mm-hmm.
Like Robert Whitaker, that's how much more ready for the Adesanya rematch that I think Robert Whitaker is. What he did to Cannonier.
Can we take a second while we're at it and just show some appreciation for Forrest Whitaker?
Bobby Knuckles.
Let's take a look at Robert Whitaker's record. Right, 24-5. Can we just appreciate that?
Holy crap! I didn't know it was that much.
Wow, yeah.
His only loss since 2014 is Israel Adesanya.
And this is after dropping down a weight class, right? Or
This is
coming
after
up a weight class.
No, he's always been middleweight.
No, he was 170 at one point.
Was
And
he a
that's-
welterweight?
Yeah, he had some losses.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah. So he went up a weight class. So since he's been a middleweight, he's only lost to Israel Adesanya. Now this is through 2 torn ACLs. This is through 2 5-round fights of Yoel Romero.
Yeah, that's
Went 5 rounds with Darren Till. Went 3 rounds with Cannonier. He's beaten Jacare, Derek Brunson, Uriah Hall, Brad Tavares, Rafael Natal, Kelvin Gastelum, Romero twice. And not for nothing, but most of them are finishes.
Yeah.
Most of them are finishes, man. He has this whole fucking record, and he has like 5 decisions on it.
he's one of the greats. That's for damn sure.
He totally is. And I don't want to be the guy
Best
that
out of
says-
Australia, maybe.
Adesanya is
Oh,
probably
yeah,
the
that's
best.
But he
right.
fights out of Nigeria.
Yeah,
you know, like- it is Nigeria, right?
He was born in Nigeria. He
Yeah.
fights out of New Zealand.
Oh, New
I
Zealand.
think he
no.
fights out of America now, but he's New Zealand background.
It's a complicated family tree.
So it's so fucking crazy to me that Robert Whitaker has these names. I'm gonna actually count it out because I want the viewers to really be impressed as I am. All right. He's 12 out of his last 13. 12 out of his last 13 against literally
The greatest
two of those.
in the division.
Two of those are not great fighters. Every other person he's fought, great fighters. And he's 10 of 11. Only being knocked out by Adesanya. And it was coming off both wars with Romero, and he still had a fucked up leg from his torn ACL.
True. Yeah, it's good to know. And what, it was 2 years ago now that fight was?
October 6th will be 2 years.
Yeah. Wow. That's a lot of room for improvement. And I don't doubt that Adesanya's improved, but Adesanya's the most honed striker that division's ever seen, I think.
Yeah.
And the only place that Whitaker has to go is up.
We saw it, though, against, like, Marvin Vettori tried to take that Adesanya so many times, and he got him twice, but he stuffed him like 10 times.
Yeah, and Marvin.
And once he got
Marvin
him to the
had
ground,
nothing.
he didn't do much with him.
Oh, yeah,
He's
nothing.
tired. He couldn't take him down the first 10 times.
So does that mean that Robert Whitaker is going to have to strike with Adesanya?
He could mix it up though, because he's
I think
more
he
of
could mix
he's
it up.
more of like an all-around kind of threat.
He has to
Here's-
kick him more.
Here's what
He has
I
to
would
use his
say.
kicks
I
more,
think
like
that
Adesanya.
Robert Whitaker, I don't think he's as strong as Marvin Vettori.
No.
He might be as good, if not better, of a wrestler, but Vettori definitely has a strength advantage, which is huge for taking down. It is. I get cardio and placement and timing and accuracy is all equally as important, but strength is definitely a key factor,
Yeah, for sure.
especially against a guy who weighs $185, soaking wet with no weight cut. Like
Yeah.
Adesanya doesn't cut weight from middleweight.
Imagine if he did.
He probably
Imagine
comes
if
in
he
at
did
one
cut
time.
Imagine if he went to
pounds.
welterweight.
And he cut 15 pounds.
Imagine if he goes to welterweight. You got the 6'4" fucking Muay Thai kickboxing
God.
Going up against
world class fighter.
Kamaru Usman.
Well, they would
Ooh.
never fight. They've talked
That
about how they
sucks.
would never
That,
fight.
why you gotta be friends?
Right.
Just don't be friends.
Right.
Because that would be so cool.
That would
That's
be,
a fantasy fight.
Bro. Wow. That's
Alright.
a fucking
I'd have
fight.
Usman honestly, but
Izzy against Izzy.
I really
I got
think
Izzy.
so.
I got
I really
Izzy with
think
his
so.
leg kicks. I think he knocks him out with the leg kick. I think he can keep his distance away from him.
I think the reach is something that Usman would struggle to fucking keep up with, right? Because the reach advantage is like 6 inches plus for Adesanya.
I think
Legit.
that's where we'd see Usman's fucking top tier wrestling come out.
Oh my God, Usman would ragdoll him on the ground. If he chose to do it, though, he could try to stand up with Adesanya.
He's been in great. He's a great striker now, no doubt about it. He's fucking fantastic.
He's one of the most powerful one-punch strikers in the UFC's history.
Yeah, that combo put a big man out.
He doesn't even need a combo.
Knocked out
dude.
Jorge.
A fucking straight hand knocked out Jorge's lights.
You know what I mean?
First
though.
time ever in his
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
Beautiful. Fantasy fights, man, don't they just suck?
Yeah,
Dude.
GSP Khabib, GSP Kamaru Usman.
Usman Khabib.
Usman Khabib is
Yeah.
another great one that because they're friends never would fight. Stop
Mhm.
making friends in the fucking in the
Right,
business.
Right.
GS
This is a
Who wins,
business.
GSP or Usman?
What are we talking? Are we
I
talking
think
right now, or are
Usman
we
wins.
talking both in their primes?
You got to say both in primes, and I
If we're
think
talking both in their primes, I'm taking GSP. I'm sorry. I am.
I'd say Usman if there was no time to prep. I'd say if you gave a year to prep, fucking GSP all day.
I think if you gave a year to prep, can you imagine both of those guys being in camps for a year? How
Oh,
ninjas they would legitimate
Bro.
ninjas they would be.
That would be awesome.
yeah.
It would be a fucking explosive fight.
Kamaru Usman's another one of the guy that has to fucking cut weight. There's no way that dude walks around at like 180 or anything less. He's got to be 200 pounds,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he's gotta be-
100%.
This
He's gotta
physique
be.
is
He's gotta
freaky.
be huge.
He
Dude.
is a genetic fucking freak.
Like
The
Nagano.
shoulders he has, his shoulders are like as big as my head.
Dude, he's got a big ass head.
Ridiculous.
He's got a big ass
He
head too.
does.
Big heads are good for taking damage. Just look at Bobby Knuckles, the amount of times he's gotten that same punch that knocked out Masvidal. He's gotten hit with that and just kind of does this weird cartwheel thing. That's fucking Bobby Knuckles' the best thing is he just like it's so tough to put him out cold.
Yeah.
For real.
Mm.
I struggle with the dream fights because Usman does have relationships with everybody, right? Usman says that Khabib's his brother, Adesanya is his brother, and those are the two biggest switch ups.
Because he's scared to fight him.
I don't
He
know.
does it on purpose.
I don't think
possible.
he's scared to
I mean,
fight him, man. I wouldn't be scared to fucking fight anybody if I'm Kamaru Usman. I'd fight Brock Lesnar. I don't give a shit.
No.
Dude, I think Usman knocks out Brock Lesnar.
What?
Yeah.
Oh no. It's just the weight's too big. The weight's too big.
Yeah. He going in there.
Could knock him out.
He going in there
could
weighing
knock him out.
290, Zach.
But I think
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar going in at 285 versus 210-pound Kamaru Usman
Can
maybe.
you imagine Kamaru Usman at heavyweight? Can you imagine if this dude put on 35 pounds of muscle?
Fighting Ngannou.
And then like an extra 20 of fat or something.
He's just
Now
lit-
we're
he's
getting
just
all
wide.
preposterous.
He's
Now
just
we're
wide.
getting Kamaru Usman versus Ngannou. Okay.
Let's see it. Let's see it, baby.
Let's see it, man. I'm down.
I don't know.
The dream fights for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. This is what the UFC used to be built on, and I get it still is.
But it
That's-
ain't the same. No.
Like back when the UFC first started, there was no such thing as divisional belts. It was super fight belts, like the super fight champion. The first super fight champion was Mark Coleman when he beat Dan Severn
Yeah.
in UFC 13, I think it was.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a fucking throwback.
Who
Dude, that was like
wins-
96.
Who wins? Prime Silva?
Or
Adesanya.
that's tough.
Anderson Silva.
Yeah, I think Anderson Silva just because he's more well rounded.
I think Anderson Silva in his prime had the greatest head movement we will ever see in the UFC ever. I think dude, like that guy would literally just like do this and be like, come on, like let's fucking go. And
He could matrix dodge, you know? That athletic.
Max Holloway has some of the greatest head movement right now, and Adesanya was probably better. There's a
Yeah.
lot of comparisons, honestly, now that I think of it, of Max Holloway and Anderson Silva I could make. They have very similar styles.
Stand up
They're
striking
both
styles.
Stand up, skinny, accuracy over power, elusiveness over like in your face.
Man, that'd be a fight.
When's Max Holloway Yair Rodriguez? Because that fight got rescheduled.
I'm still so amazed that Anderson Silva managed to go over to boxing and actually beat a damn good boxing competitor.
Bro, there's talks of him boxing Logan Paul.
I'd like to see that, you know.
I would love to see that because Logan Paul would get his shit pushed in. Oh my god.
Jake Paul better get knocked out.
Jake versus Woodley.
Yeah.
Woodley's taking this seriously.
I think Woodley better
Dude,
knock
there
this
was-
dude out.
Farasa Abi said something about Jake Paul's taking steroids.
He might be. It's very possible. Like
Because Showtime is the commission, is the athletic commission. They have their own, and they're not testing for fucking drugs. Like, what the fuck is that?
I wouldn't put it past Jake Paul. There is no
I wouldn't
integrity there.
either.
Like if he's doing steroids,
You said some shit
He's
the other
doing
day.
steroids.
Does Jake Paul actually have a rematch clause if he loses?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting to me.
Woodley's like, I'm training like I'm fighting Mike Tyson. I don't give a shit. I
Good.
don't give a shit. This is a fight. You signed the contract. I'm going to war. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, this guy's gonna kill him.
You're talking about a former decorated. Before Kamaru Usman, we were talking about Tyron Woodley might be able to surpass George St. Pierre for a little
we
bit.
were. Ain't that sad?
Isn't that crazy?
That's a
You know
downfall.
what's even crazy? That was 2 years ago.
It's the greatest downfall in UFC history, I'd say.
You're not lying.
Yeah, but
But
he's
he
still
was the
good.
champ. He defended it 5 times, and then he lost 3, and he was out of the UFC.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You know what? Fuck it. I hope they're both juicing, and we see Tyron Woodley on steroids because that
Can you
dude's
imagine?
physique's already good.
Dude would have a bicep like coming out of his chest.
He would.
He's
It's a freak
fucking
show.
yoked.
He's going to he might knock him out this time. Like I was with Jake Paul in the beginning. I'm going towards Woodley now. I am. I'm switching it.
Especially the way Woodley throws his
I have
power
said this
punches.
the whole time. I think Woodley will win, but I am so fucking scared that
Yeah,
Jake
we've
Paul
also
will.
been wrong.
If Jake Paul wins, think about how bad that makes the MMA community look. Like
It doesn't, man.
it not the community as in the fans, but I'm talking the fighters. It takes
yeah,
away
yeah.
like let's be honest, the credibility of strikers in MMA it's totally built upon MMA striking.
But listen, Tyron
But the
Woodley.
casuals, you know what I mean? The casuals would look at the boxing and they'd be like, "Oh, UFC strikers must suck."
Can I tell you the only difference? No disrespect to either man, but the only difference I see in Tyron Woodley and Ben Askren is like 10 pounds of muscle and 3 extra championship fights.
And a lot of fucking power in those hands. There's a huge difference.
Well, that's what I
in
mean
that.
by the 10 pounds of muscle.
Well,
He's
the
Tyron
striking-
Woodley's not a boxer. He's
the-
not a striker. He's a wrestler.
His striking ability is good though.
He's decent striking, but he's not world class at all. Like, from a pure boxing standpoint, I think Jake Paul's better. But I think Tyron Woodley has head movement and competition experience that'll allow him to have a fucking huge shot on Jake Paul.
Oh.
I don't see Woodley winning by decision if it goes to decision. I see him winning by knockout.
When is that again?
August 28th.
next week.
Pretty sure it's next week.
Well, I'm excited to listen to that in the morning because they ain't paying for that shit.
What do you mean in the morning? Is it in the morning?
No, I listened to it the morning after.
Oh, got it. Yeah, I'm not paying. Dude, get a Showtime subscription. $10 a month.
Nah.
It's literally
More bills, streaming services.
August 29th, 8
Streaming
p.m.
services suck.
Huh.
Sunday. It's on a Sunday.
Again?
Mhm.
This guy's streaming weird times.
Dude, do you think fucking Jake Paul can knock out Tyron Woodley?
It's possible. I mean, especially if he's roiding. Like, it's very,
I would say
very
this.
possible.
I would say this.
Anything's possible when you're roided.
Jake Paul.
Get about fucking Dave Ortiz
Jake Paul is like the boxing
Alex
equivalent.
Rodriguez.
to the moon.
He's like the boxing equivalent of Colby Covington. Like, he actually seems like a decent guy who puts on a show for cameras at certain points. He hasn't talked shit to Woodley like at all. He took Mayweather's hat,
He's
but
nervous.
that was for fucking merchandise, like a legitimate merchandise scheme
Yeah.
that worked really well for him. He's like, got your hat, and then he put out clothing
Got
that
your
said,
hat,
got your
yeah.
hat, and it sold millions within minutes. And besides that, he doesn't talk too much shit.
He's nervous.
He talks that shit, but let's
He
be
does,
he
but
looks
at the same
nervous.
time to sell the fight. He's not
Yeah.
talking shit to talk the shit like Connor did.
yeah.
He's nervous.
He's just talking.
It's interesting because both the Pauls kind of have that reputation of they're punks.
I like Logan Paul better.
Oh, I like Logan Paul better. I like his podcast.
But
I don't
I
like
never
it.
listen
I
to
don't
his
like it. I
podcast.
just
I'd like
the
to see
clips.
both of them get knocked out.
Yeah.
just because you know that these let's be honest, here's the viewpoint of like the world is like these couple of dickheads just came out of nowhere from YouTube and now they're fighting all these fucking pros that have worked their entire lives.
I don't like the fact that it took John Jones 8 years as champion to make as much money as Logan Paul did to fight Floyd Mayweather. That's what I don't like.
That's their advertising though. They've done it
It's
right.
boxing.
you know?
I get it.
Well,
But
and-
if you were John Jones, why the fuck don't you just go fight Anthony Joshua? Just go box Anthony Joshua. Go make your $50 million. Fuck it.
yeah, he would make that.
Can you imagine if Fury Wilder 3 happens and the winner of that fights John Jones?
They're-
Can you fucking
They
imagine
would wreck
how
him.
much money? Oh, they would. What?
They would wreck
Yeah,
him.
probably.
They're so much
Probably.
They're so much bigger and just like the skill. Well,
Probably. They're both taller, but their reach is just about the fucking same. That's what's crazy.
but when's John Jones ever fought a taller opponent?
Alexander Gustafsson, taller.
The hardest fight of his career.
And he won
Yeah, he did win
twice.
with the fucking takedowns. You know,
Did he barely win?
being a threat.
Oh, he barely won the first one. He knocked him the fuck out in the second one.
Yeah, Alexander Gustafsson after that fight kind of.
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
Yep. Whenever
Yeah,
you
we
say
did.
what? Whenever
Yep.
you say what?
Yep. Good times.
Mm-hmm. Remember.
John Jones going to fight. John Jones' manager, Winklejohn. I can't remember his first
Greg
name.
Jackson.
Greg Jackson.
Yeah.
It was Greg Jackson. Talked about how if John Jones were to move to 205, it would be to fight Jan Blachowicz, not to fight Israel Adesanya. And just the mention of that means that John Jones is contemplating going back down to 205.
He could. He might see an easier time there.
Can you imagine that shit?
That
Can you
would be
imagine if he goes back to 205?
That'd be kind of weird.
That would be weird.
I don't think, from his perspective, though, why would you do it? Because what if, after all this time, you vacated the belt, you're like, I don't need this division anymore. I beat everybody. And you go back and you lose. Imagine what that would do.
Bad legacy.
That might kill him. Like that might kill him mentally, because we know how egotistic John Jones is. Like you can't argue against
Dude,
that.
there are several people in the world that I would say, like, you could be fucking egotistical.
Oh well, if you're
Floyd
a champion,
Mayweather.
you have to be. You kind of have to be a little.
Queen Elizabeth, Donald Trump,
Barack Obama, Hillary
Fucking
Clinton,
John Jones.
Every politician.
Biden.
But we're not an anti-government podcast. Just
John Jones
anti-government
is
members.
right up there. Like, I don't give a shit what that guy says.
Ouch.
He could do literally whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he
Well,
deserves it
can't-
at this
no,
point.
he can't
He's-
do whatever he wants.
Tom Brady's right up there.
Needs to
Michael
wear-
Jordan
needs to wear a
right up there.
mask.
Tom Brady's up there
Yeah.
so high that he kisses his son on the lips. So
I would say that, you know what, I'm not going to say that.
greatest of all time, but also kisses. His
What's
son
your
on the lips.
problem with Boston athletes tonight? You took a shot at David Ortiz. You're taking a shot at
Took a
Tom
shot
Brady
at David Ortiz.
No, I
That's not cool.
called him a steroid user, which he is.
in Minnesota.
Shut up.
No, in
What do you
Minnesota.
mean, guys? David Ortiz never got bopped.
Yep. He admitted it.
On the Red Sox, I'm trying to make
No,
never-
on the
never-
on
really
the
didn't.
Minnesota, on the Twins, he did.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
he
what I
did.
just said. In Minnesota, he
Zach's
did.
trying to make it a point though.
Listen, if David Ortiz took
7
steroids,
rings, 7
Alex
rings.
Rodriguez took steroids.
Alex Rodriguez did take steroids, but for multiple years on the Yankees.
Funny, man.
Alex Rodriguez, that was my first response. Was hey, Alex Rodriguez took steroids.
Yeah, initially.
Yeah, and Alex Rodriguez was this close to signing with the Red Sox. So imagine how
Yeah,
many
he did.
rings.
Do you know?
Steroid rings.
Do you know Alex
been great.
Rodriguez is the only person to sign 2 $300 million contracts in sports history?
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Isn't
Still
that
under
nuts?
contract.
300 million from baseball.
2 of them.
Baseball's the big,
Two
like
of
one of
them.
the biggest
Two.
sports for that.
And
though.
his first one was when he was
600
26.
mil.
His first one was when he was 26. So like he was getting paid for 5 years, 6 years before that.
Dude, I gotta look up his net worth real quick.
A-Rod, dude, it's like a good 500 mil because
He's
he's
with Barstool
now
Sports too.
he's now co-owner of a couple teams.
He invests too.
Yeah,
J-Will
Jesus.
broke his heart, but
400 mil,
yeah, 400 mil. Good, fucking
and
good
that's
for A-Rod.
with him managing the
Good for
teams.
A-Rod. You know how many rings you got him?
Yeah.
Boom. That's it.
1 ring.
There you go, buddy. Have fun with that.
Team sport.
Derek Jeter got 4. You got 1.
I think
Uh-huh.
the most impressive rings, I mean, Tom Brady having all 6, but I mean, that 04 Red Sox ring, I think that's like the prize. I think that's like the tippity top is the 04 Red Sox
That was
ring.
in Fenway, right?
Yeah. I think Game 7.
Was it in Fenway? I don't think it was.
It
I think it was in
wasn't-
Yankee Stadium.
It wasn't
It
Fenway.
was in Game 7.
How can it be? How can they win if they're in the same division? Can't be in Yankee Stadium.
Why not?
They're in the same division.
So that means they
Can't
can't.
be the World Series.
It wasn't the World Series.
I know. And what do you mean? I'm talking about the World Series. I'm
Oh,
saying
okay.
the ring is like the top.
Was that the Cardinals? Or
I
was
don't
that-
know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Cardinals.
Cardinals
I
have
don't-
a
I don't-
better record.
yeah,
First 2 games.
We're kind of
Cardinals.
off topic anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Talk about baseball.
Hey, but yeah.
Yeah, we don't have an agenda today anyway. Fuck it.
Well,
Steroids.
what do you think? 04 Red Sox ring or 01 Patriots?
Which is more impressive, or which
Yeah.
is like a higher scale of difficulty?
What is both?
04. But I don't think 01 was the toughest ring that they ever had. That was against the Rams. That was a fucking underdog story with the second-year quarterback. I'll give you that.
First ring ever for the organization.
Dude, I would say the greatest ring as far as adversity New England's ever seen is the fucking comeback against the Falcons. That's got to be, right?
That was
it has to
the
be.
greatest Super Bowl comeback of all time.
It's the greatest sports comeback of all time. No, it's not the greatest sports comeback of all time, but it is the greatest high-pressure sports comeback of all time.
Yeah.
That was insane, dude. That was fucking
I
insane.
watched that whole game. I didn't take my fucking eyes off it for 1 second. I'm like,
Anyway, UFC
I'm
266,
telling you.
right? UFC
I'm ready.
266 is coming up September 25th. I want to get your guys, if you don't want to make predictions just yet, because we do have 5 weeks before it comes down, you don't have to. But if you want to say a few points or something, or if you want to give your
Didn't we
prediction,
already give our prediction?
I don't think so.
About 266.
Luke Rockhold, Sean Strickland.
Got Luke Rockhold, man. That's tough.
I got
That's a
Sean
tough guy to
Strickland,
beat.
I think
I
now.
got Sean Strickland.
Really?
Mm.
Wow. Okay. All right.
That
Um,
jab, man. That jabs.
I don't know if you guys know too much about these guys, but I know you know of them. Marlon Moraes versus Merab Wallace-Willie.
I got Marlon Moraes.
I got Wallace-Willie.
You do, yeah. You've been saying
Wallace-Willie's
that.
a wrestler, dude. He puts a fucking face on people.
We'll see.
I don't know.
Curtis Blades, Josiah Rosenstrike.
Curtis Blades, if you
Gotta
don't
be
get knocked
Blades.
out.
Curtis
It's
Blades.
gotta be Blades.
That's what we said last
Nick
time.
Diaz, Robbie Lawler.
I got Robbie Lawler.
Robbie
Robbie.
Lawler.
Ruthless.
I think you should hammer him too. I think.
Valentina Shevchenko or Lauren Murphy.
Shevchenko.
I dare you. I dare you.
Shevchenko by
Okay.
TKO. We'll get more
Shevchenko.
specific.
Volkanovski. Alexander Volkanovski versus Brian Ortega for the featherweight title.
Volk.
Oh, yeah.
Volkanovski.
I've been picking Brian Ortega, and I'm just going to stick with it.
All right, I say Volkanovski. For
Ever
sure.
since I've seen Volkanovski cooking, though, that man's got good nutrients in his body. No wonder why he's able to win.
All right, then I'm gonna put you guys on the spot because we're almost done anyway. At 267, Blachowicz versus Teixeira.
Teixeira. Let's go Teixeira.
Blachowicz.
Teixeira.
Let's see it.
Aljo versus Jan. Jan.
Yeah, we don't need to say that one.
Islam Makhachev versus Rafael dos Anjos.
Tough test for Islam.
Islam Makhachev.
Tough test for Islam. But I really think it's going to be Islam. Just because the age of Rafael dos Anjos.
I'm not ready to say yet.
Yeah,
I'm not ready to pick. It's too far out. I gotta watch both. I gotta watch a lot of Rafael dos Anjos. I haven't seen him fight in a long time.
He's not bad.
No, he's not bad at all. And especially since he dropped down to lightweight, he's been really good.
Islam did get taken down in his last fight, but I mean, he was so fucking dominant.
If there's anybody to take him down, though, Rafael dos Anjos is the guy.
His ground game's good, and he submitted the guy in the 4th round. He's got a pace to him like Khabib.
Dos Anjos is the kind of guy that I can picture Makhachev bringing to the ground and getting trapped in a fucking
something sneaky.
Like, honestly, like a fucking omniplot or some shit. Like, off Dos Anjos off his back.
Could happen.
Right.
Yeah.
It's always possible.
I think it's more impressive. I think he wants to win by submission. It's more impressive. It gives Khabib more legacy because he's his coach. Khabib's 5-0 as a coach, which is also an important stat. I think he will be 6-0 after this.
Li Jingliang versus Khamzat Chimaev.
What you were going to say? Khamzat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know Lee.
Yeah, man.
I think it's just a fodder.
Walt Harris versus Tai Tuivasa.
Tai Tuivasa, baby.
Tai Tuivasa, baby. He's on a tear.
Alexander Volkov versus Marcin Tybura.
Didn't we?
This is a huge
What
fight,
is it?
honestly. Marcin Tybura versus Alexander Volkov.
I got Volkov. He needs to get a win. I really think it's Volkov.
I'm not ready to say yet.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Volkov's kind of suspicious to pick nowadays,
Yes. But he's lost to really good fighters though. That's
yeah, he's not lost to chumps.
Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler.
Chandler, I think Michael Chandler.
I got Chandler.
I got Justin Gaethje all day in that fight.
You see it all
I
day
got
long.
him all day. Justin Gaethje, 100%. I'm fucking putting my mark on it right now. I swear to God.
Are you putting tickets on?
I got Justin Gaethje.
I got
Last time you said this, you got it right. So
figures
so
on
the
it.
guy.
I got figures on it.
You got figures on it?
Oh, watch it.
I don't have it yet. I'm going to be putting what have we been saying?
Tickets.
10.
No, what have we been
Units?
saying? Units.
Okay.
I got units on it.
Yeah. How many
units, Zach?
5.
5 units.
5 units.
I'm thinking 5.
On that one fight. Oh boy.
I'm thinking maybe 2.5 units just on the fight, 2.5 parlayed with Kamaru Usman because I got Kamaru Usman over Colby. I might put all 5 on Gaethje and Kamaru.
That'll be a heartbreak
Gaethje,
though.
Chikazia. No, actually, fuck that.
Hold on, I got 2 more.
All right.
Thiago Santos, Johnny Walker.
Thiago Santos.
I got Johnny Walker.
Okay.
Garv, care to weigh in? You good?
Johnny Walker.
Paulo Costa, Marvin Vittori.
Paulo Costa, yeah.
Thiago. Yeah, Johnny Walker.
Paulo Costa or Marvin Vittori. You got the Italians.
Paulo Costa. That's not even a question. That is
Really?
a bet the fucking house.
I think I got Marvin Vittori.
No, don't do it.
I think
Don't do
that if he can't
Paulo
take
Costa.
Costa down, then
I think he will take
Costa
him
can
down.
outstrike
I think
him.
he will take him down.
Who knows? Depends if he has his wine before the fight.
Did you hear the new excuse that he has about why he drank wine before the fight?
What was it?
Apparently, he overtrained after cutting weight the day before the fight.
Yeah.
And so he couldn't go to sleep, so he drank wine to go to sleep.
Yeah. That's what I heard too. He drank wine to pass out.
Smoke a bun.
Yeah, it's legal in the UFC.
Anyway, that's the show. MMA Complete episode 60, another one in the books. Thank you, boys, for coming through.
Yeah.
Next week, this weekend, make sure you turn into UFC on ESPN, where Jared Cannonier and Kelvin Gastelum will go at it. That's sure to be a great fucking
Yeah,
fight.
it will be a great fight.
We're doing the podcast every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Come check us out wherever you're watching us now. Fans Only Sports, Naked Sports, MMA Complete Podcast, YouTube page, @complete_MMA on Twitter. Wherever you're watching this, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitch, Tinder. I don't know what we used to say.
YouTube.
I can't remember. YouTube. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back every Thursday, and we will be back on September 25th for UFC 266, where we live stream every pay-per-view, 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. So make sure you come check that out. That's going to be a great pay-per-view, as are all the pay-per-views for the next couple months. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you stay tuned in. Nothing but good things to come.
Truth.
Progress every week. Have a good night.
Later.